Hi, everyone. I'm so happy and excited that you are here with me today on my LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Instagram Live about how to apply to jobs even if you don't meet 100% of the requirements. I am Teresa, and I help women who want to make a career change find their ideal career. Usually, I always go live from my home in Hawaii, but today I am actually not there. I am traveling to my hometown in Germany. So I am in my parents' home in Germany and super excited that I get to tune in live from here. Hi, Lauren. Also excited that you are here. Thanks for tuning in. So for all of you that are here listening in, please say hi in the chat. Let me know where you are tuning in from. And I can't wait to get to know all of you. And unless you drop a hi in the chat, I don't know that you're here. So please say hi in the chat. Let me know you're here. Hi, Lauren again. Hi, Rice Perkins. Hi, Andrew. Oh, so excited to see all of you. Thank you for being here. I have another LinkedIn user saying hi. Woo, this is awesome. So I am super excited that you are all here today because we're diving into a topic that I think most of us have experienced. It is about applying for jobs when we don't tick 100% of the boxes. Because there's always this super long list of qualifications, right? And sometimes we're short of some. And I really felt compelled to host this live. Actually, I got this question from one of my followers, and I turned this into a live because it is a question that I get quite a lot of the time. And I know the people who are listening in, many of you want to land dream jobs. But we can't meet 100% of those requirements. They are so often not realistic. Oh, so great to see so many people tuning in here. Hi, Dominique. Hi, Paula. 2 more LinkedIn users. Hi, Phil. Thanks for being here. 2 more LinkedIn users. Oh, I'm so excited that all of you are here live with me today. Also, hey, Julie, great to see you as well. Before we dive into this topic, I want to share a statistic with you. Research shows that men are more likely to apply for jobs than women. And men actually apply on average if they meet about 60% of the requirement. But women, on the other hand, they are way more selective and only apply when they meet closer to 100% of the requirements. And because of that, women actually apply to 20% fewer jobs than men do. So that is a statistic I want to turn upside down, or actually just even out today, and get all of you women and the men in the audience as well to confidently apply for jobs, even if you don't meet every single box. Hi, Dahlia. Oh my God, it's so great to see all of you here. I'm so thankful that you are all here. So before we dive deeper into these topics, I'd love to hear from you, and please drop that in the chat. If you have ever hesitated to apply for a job because you felt that you weren't the perfect fit, because you didn't check 100% of the boxes, type a yes or a no in the chat. Let me know. I would really want to see where you are at, if this is something that you have experienced, that you were holding back or at least hesitant to actually submit an application because you didn't check every single box. Always, yes, you're not the only one, Lauren. I really appreciate you sharing that. I'm gonna drop this one in here. Yeah, we have a always here. We have a yep there. We have another yes. We have another yes. And we have another yes, I do. So this is something, and sometimes it just helps that we're not the only ones to feel that way. So it helps that, yes, we are all in the same boat. We all experience that hesitation of like, I don't want to put in for this job because I don't meet 100% of the qualifications. Well, I want to start by really encouraging you and telling you don't need to meet 100% of the qualifications. A lot of time that is a wish list from the hiring manager and the recruiter. But if you actually meet 100% of the requirements, in so many cases, you are considered overqualified. You're in the sweet spot if you meet about 60 to 80% of the requirements, because hiring managers and recruiters, they want someone to come in who's hungry to learn, and they don't want to come in hire someone who knows everything, has done this before, and is going to get bored within 6 months and leaves the position again. They do want someone who can grow into that role in almost all of the cases. So think about it as their ideal wish list. But if you meet anywhere between 60 to 80%, you are perfectly fine to put in for that role. And at this point, I want to share a story about a client of mine, which is very dear to my heart because we share a common backstory or our previous career. You might have known that I started my career in management. So that was about 10 years ago. And I managed a rental car branch. And my client, Lucy, she came from the same background. She also came from management and managed a rental car branch over a decade. And that is all she knew, a feeling I relate to so well. Because day in, day out, her life revolved about renting cars, growing her fleet, marketing, handling customer complaints, all the things that you do when you run your own branch. And Lucy so badly wanted to change careers, but the thought that just kept stuck in her head was, all I know is how to rent cars. Who would possibly hire me outside of this job? So once we started working together and with some guidance and introspection, she discovered that she has a really incredible talent for operations and customer relationship management. So that's what we dove into. And guess what? Now Lucy is actually thriving at one of the top e-commerce firms, managing their customer experience teams. And she really loves that role. It aligns so well what she does best. And it's exactly taking that small part that she loved out of her previous role and was really good at and making that the main focus of her work now. And it all came down to finding her transferable skills. The skill of customer service and customer experience, she's done that for a long time. And being able to transfer that to a new role was the breakthrough that she had and that she needed to succeed and actually land a new role outside of what she's done in the past. So talking about transferable skills, I would love for all of you listening in here to drop one transferable skill that you have in the chat. You can just write 1 or 2 words in the chat. What is one skill that you currently have that you have used in the past that you could transfer to another career, another position outside of your current role, outside of your current company, outside of your industry? So are you great at managing relationships? Are you great at creating great customer experiences? Have you experience in leadership? Do you have experience in organization? Do you have experience in even hard skills, such as you're like a data wizard in Excel? That is needed in so many areas. Are you really good at communicating? Are you the one who can bring it down to the point and help communicate a message to a team or other people? Oh, I love this here. There's great stuff coming in here through the chat. So Lauren says, cross-functional team collaboration. That is amazing. That is such an important skill. Leadership skills are so needed in organizations. So that is something you can definitely lead with. Leadership, yes. We need leadership. We need more leaders who actually have leadership skills. Drop a yes in the chat if you agree that we need way better. Oh, scheduling. That is one of my transferable skills too. Yes, so needed. Leadership and communication, amazing. Relationship building and connecting, fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. Those are the skills that we really, really need in so many different companies that can help you stand out from others. Yes, for sure. Thanks, Nalia. Appreciate the support here. Thank you. So now let's dive really into the core of today's lesson, because I want to give you 3 actionable strategies that you can use to be more confident when you're applying for roles where you don't check 100% of the boxes. Because I said all you need is about 60%, a little bit more than half, and you are good to apply. The first thing we're going to be talking about are more into transferable skills. The second topic we're going to be talking about is networking. Often it's more about who you know than what you know, or both can be equally important. And then it is about maximizing your online applications. That one is huge. So we're going to spend the majority of the time on this last topic. But let's start with transferable skills. So I love seeing all the transferable skills that you already dropped in the chat. Those are valuable skills. One of the biggest, I don't even want to say mistakes, one of the biggest things I noticed with clients is that they don't think of those skills as valuable. They say like, oh yeah, I'm just good at connecting with people, but it's just what I do. No, not everyone is like that. That is a strength. You're great at building relationships. Or, well, it just comes naturally to me to lead a team. It's nothing special. Well, no, it is something special. I almost want to shake them. I'm like, no, it is really special that you're good at this. This is what companies need. So when you have those skills inside of you, don't just them. Don't think, oh, I just do this. No, you do this. Own those skills. And when to really dive into your transferable skills, you want to start with a skills audit. So you want to look at your current role or past roles and think about all the skills that you are using on a day-to-day or weekly basis. Think about softer skills like team coordination or conflict resolution just as much as the hard skills such as sales or programming, and make a list of all those skills. And then I actually want you to split them into two columns. On one side, I want you to list the skills that actually energize you. Because there are some things we can do all day long and we feel really motivated and energized by them. So maybe for some of you, that could be scheduling. I could schedule all day long and I would feel great and energized at the end of the day. And then on the other column, I want you to put those skills that are draining you. Maybe you're really good at scheduling, but you hate it. And if you think about doing that for the majority of the day, you would feel really, really drained. So that is the first thing you want to get clear on is, what are your transferable skills? And then once you have, not just what are your transferable skills, but what transferable skills do you have that energize you? And then focus on those skills that really, really energize you, that you feel like, yes, those are the skills I want to use. And then go research job descriptions with those keywords, with the skills that you want to use. And look for roles that revolve around those skills that energize you, that make you come alive, that motivate you, that you already have. And then find the positions that align with those skills, that revolve around it. And then next step, adjust your resume. Tell your resume through that lens of what you want to do. So one of the skills that was dropped in the chat is, for example, leadership. You might have done so many other different things in your past role. But if you say leadership is one of the skills I'm really good at, it motivates me, it's energizing, I love leading a team, then tell your story through that lens. Say like, okay, in this role, these were the leadership roles I took, and those were the results I achieved. In this role, this is what I did as a leader, and this is what I achieved. And in the future, I want to be a leader in this role. So you can connect what you have done in the past to what you want to do in the future. And you can reframe your resume in that same way, where you really highlight those transferable skills that you want to use and that you want to be known for. All right, any questions, please at any time drop them in the chat. I want to make this interactive, answer your questions. I'm here for you to help you. So don't be afraid to drop questions in the chat as they come up. And the second topic I want to talk about is networking. It's super, super important to network. And I'm sure you probably all heard that in the past. But the key to networking is, there's like, I don't even know how many million users there are on LinkedIn, for example. It's pretty much impossible to network with everyone, or if we're quite random in our networking, that really doesn't really have any effect. So for networking, we need to think about where do we want to work and what do we want to do? And then start building relationships with the people who work at the companies we want to work at, who do the type of work that we want to do, and build genuine relationships. We're not connecting with them to ask them for a job. We're connecting from them to learn from them, to seek their advice. We're coming from a very genuine place. We're saying like, hey, I like just saw that, sorry guys. I just saw that you're on the customer experience team at a company that I absolutely admire. I would love to learn from you what you do on a day-to-day basis, how you got into that role, what are the skills and strengths I need to succeed in this role. And when we ask those questions, when we seek advice, that's when networking really happens. That's when we can really grow our network and surround ourselves with the people who do the work we want to do, who work where we want to work. And that is going to be the door into those positions, especially when we don't check 100% of the boxes. We need to find people who can help us, who open that door to get into those companies. And my last LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram Live was actually about networking specifically. So if you want to dive deeper into this topic, let me drop this in here really quick. Oh, yes, I love that you're sharing that, Andrew. Don't be afraid to build rapport with someone. Exactly. Don't be afraid to make professional friends. That's especially those of you who have a LinkedIn profile, that's what most of the people are on LinkedIn for. We want to get to know each other. We want to learn from each other. We want to support each other in our careers. And most of the time, people are quite open to helping and giving advice if you ask. And love here that the comment with networking, making a personal connection is key. So true. We don't want to be generic and say like, oh, I just want to connect with everyone, or like without any like genuine interest. We really want to come from a genuine place and say, this is exactly what I want to do, or I'm really interested in learning more about that to find out if this would be right for me. And then building a genuine professional friendship. Yes, exactly. It's professional friends. Exactly. So think about it really as building friendships. Love this. Yes, absolutely. That is huge. I agree. Professional friendships, being very genuine in building relationships, that's what opens doors. And we need doors to open for us, especially when we want to change careers and we don't, as I said, check 100% of those boxes. Once people get to know us, once they see our value, that is when we really have a chance, a really good realistic chance to land job offers. So in here, this is my YouTube channel, and that's where you can find all my previous lives. So if you missed my live last month on networking, specifically LinkedIn networking, check it out on my YouTube channel, and you get that really, really broken down in every detail of how to do that successfully. And by the way, I also have a live on transferable skills. So to dive into that, you can also check out my live on transferable skills. So now I'm excited to dive into the topic number 3. Don't have my full text set up like I have it at home, but this is working out just fine. So our third point for today that I want to share with you is how to really make your online application stand out. You might have heard some advice that the online application system is broken, it's dead, you need to network. And there's definitely truth to that advice. But from my point of view, networking and online application have to come together. They have to come together in a way of, I'll dive into how, but when you meet, like either you start this networking first and then you hear about jobs that open up and you submit an online application, or you have an online application submitted and then dive into networking with people at that company. Once those two pieces come together, that is where I see the most success stories. Of course, there are people who land jobs just through networking or just through the online application system. But those, I wouldn't take that chance. Really, when we apply for a job, go all out on it. I just quickly want to answer the question from Lauren. What do you recommend if you're not comfortable to reaching out to strangers on LinkedIn or online? Great question. I think a lot of us can relate to not being comfortable, and I most definitely was one of them. I thought that would be terrifying to reach out to a stranger. What I always ask my clients is, and I'm going to ask you, Lauren, if someone were to send you a message, let's say you get a message on LinkedIn. Okay, Lauren, I don't know your current role, but I'm just going to make up that you are a customer experience manager. So let's say you are a customer experience manager and you get a message in your LinkedIn box from someone saying, hey, Lauren, I saw the post that you shared, or I landed on your LinkedIn profile, was really impressed by your career transition from being from retail management into customer experience management. And I'd be so curious on how you made that transition. I'd love to learn what your current role looks like. Would you be willing to connect with me so we can stay in touch? Would you say yes or no? And that question for anyone in the chat. If you were to get that question from someone in a link inbox, would you say yes or no? Always takes a moment before the chat catches up with me. So think about it. If someone were to reach out to you on LinkedIn, let's say you are currently employed and they're asking for you of how did you make this career transition? What does your current role look like? What do I need to know to become a data analyst? Which professional recommendations or courses do you recommend? So Dahlia says yes. Lauren says yes, of course. I love seeing that. Kushbu says yes. LinkedIn user says yes. So I would love that. Look at this. So there were so many yeses coming through. You didn't even think about it. You just said yes. So when you feel uncomfortable to reaching out to new people, think about how you would respond if someone would send that message to you. A lot of us feel kind of honored that someone actually would seek out our advice. I would. And most of us want to help. There are going to be people who are not going to respond, and that's okay. They're busy. Maybe their schedules are full. Maybe they're not available right now, whatever their reasons are, and that's okay. But there's going to be a lot of people who are happy to help. Oh, yay. See, Andrew, thanks for sharing that. I had someone do that with me this week. Oh, hi, Brenda. Great to see you here. So yes, keep that in mind. If you're ever hesitating to reach out to someone, think about what your response would be if you would receive that message. And that might really help you to feel more confident in sending that message or making that first outreach. And that's a perfect segue into the third strategy I want to share with you. And that is to really make the most out of every online application, especially when you're making a career change and you're not that perfect unicorn who fits 100% of the requirement they're looking for. Hardly anyone does, so don't worry about those 100%. It's really about quality over quantity. So the first thing you need to get away from is sending mass job applications. The chances of landing a job through just sending out hundreds of applications are so low. I think there's about 1 in 200 that they might pick you. That's just too low. Like, we don't want to play that chance. And I'm sure you've all heard, or you might have heard about the applicant tracking system, the ATS, that helps recruiters manage application, and recruiters can use knockout questions or filters or search for keywords. So that's why some people keyword stuff their resumes to make sure it passes through the applicant tracking system. But in my view, that's really a waste of your time. we can never, ever guarantee that your resume is going to make it to the recruiter if we just submit it online. We're not going to rely on that chance. We want to make sure when we submit an online application that we are going to talk to someone. Whatever it takes, we're going to talk to someone. So after you submit an online application, you have to play detective on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is the best research tool to find people in the professional world. And sometimes you get really lucky because the hiring manager, the recruiter, is listed in the job posting. A lot of time it's not. So that's when you have to start the detective work and look on LinkedIn who could be the hiring manager for this role. And note here, I am saying hiring manager, not recruiter. Recruiters get so many messages, they're too busy to respond. They're not really gonna be the most helpful person in this case. Some recruiters are, but it's better to get to the hiring manager. So we wanna find the hiring manager. So think about when you're applying for a role, what title would that hiring manager likely have? Go to LinkedIn, go to the company's page, and then type in the hiring manager's title. You might have to play around with it a little bit. If you are, for example, applied for a talent acquisition role at, let's say, a huge company. If you're applying at Microsoft for a talent acquisition role, most likely the manager's title is going to be talent acquisition manager. Or if you're applying for a manager role, director of talent acquisition, or talent director, or talent manager. So you can play around with a couple of those words. But if you're applying for a company like Microsoft or any of the big ones, you're going to get a huge list of people. That's okay. We're going to pick one. If we get a huge list of people, we just have to take our best guess. We're like, okay, this person here, I see that they're sometimes active on LinkedIn, so let me try with this person. And then I'm going to send them a message and say, hi, I just applied for this position, and I'm so excited about this role. And I'm not too sure who is hiring for this role, but I'd so appreciate if you could point me in the right direction. Thank you so much. You might not get a response from the first one, but if you send this message to 2 or 3 people that all could potentially be the hiring manager, or at least know who the hiring manager is, you're going to get in the right direction. And it's not enough to just try to find the hiring manager. We also want to find other people on the same team, because they give us so much insight and they often have a voice in the hiring decision. Not too long ago, I worked with a client, and she submitted an online application, something that was definitely a stretch for her qualifications. She was around the 60-65% mark of meeting the qualifications, but she was excited, and she was like, she only submitted 2 applications the whole time she worked with me. And that application, the second one that she submitted the application, and then we did some digging on LinkedIn, and we researched together of who are the people who currently do that work. Because there was a team we found 4 people that are currently on the same team in the same role. And then she sent a message to all 4 of them that she just put in for this position, and she just wants to learn more about it. She wants to get a better understanding what this position looks like, what their experience has been there working. And 2 out of the 4 got back to her, and she had an informational interview with 2 of the team members that week. And you know what? That was the quickest hiring decision I ever saw. The next week, she had a job offer in hand. She talked to the 2 team members. Both of them spoke to the hiring manager right after and said, like, oh my God, I just talked to so-and-so, and she was absolutely amazing. Like, you should really talk to her. That hiring manager fished her resume out of the pile, interviewed her, and hired her. And that's the power of talking to people. If she would have relied on that resume, making it through the applicant tracking system, getting seen by a recruiter, picked out of a pile of 200 applications, and given the chance to interview, chances are so small to none that she would have landed that job. But because she went the extra mile, She was proving to the team that she is really interested. She showed them that she's a go-getter, that she really, really wants this. And they hired her. So don't be afraid if you're not sure who is the hiring manager, who should I contact. Find your best guess on LinkedIn and just ask them. And also, if you're intimidated going to the hiring manager, go for the same level. Find the people who are in similar roles because they are inside the company. If you become friends, professional friends with them, they are the ones who are going to open that door for you. And all it takes is for one person to drop your name and the hiring manager or the recruiter pulling that resume, your resume, out of that huge stacks. Well, it's all online now, but pulling it out of that online system and looking at it. That's what you need. So please, if you take one thing away from this live, do not ever rely on your application or resume get seen by just submitting it online. You need to go the extra mile and find someone on the team, someone who's hiring for that role. Send them a message, send them an email, follow up till you actually talk to someone. That is where you need to get to. Don't wait for them to reach out to you. You need to be the one who gets in touch with them. So now that I've shared about transferable skills, I shared about networking, and I shared about making the most out of online applications. I would love to hear from you. Which of those strategies resonated the most with you? Was it transferable skills? Then drop a transferable skills in the chat. Was it networking? Drop a networking in the chat. And if it's making the most out of online applications, drop an online application in the chat. Love to hear your feedback. So once I know what resonated with you the most, I can dive into that further in my next live and expand on that and give you even more strategy. So let me know what resonated the most with you, what you found the most helpful. And as always, if you have any questions at all, drop them in the chat. I am here to answer them for you. That is why I am here live today. Oh, that's so cool. I see Andrew says networking. Got another networking in here. Super cool. Networking is huge, right? This is how we grow our network and meet people and actually open those doors, as I was saying. So I'm going to give one more minute for people. Oh, I see a third networking. Awesome. Yes. All right. So if making the online application count and find the hiring team. Thanks for bringing it on the point, Julie. Perfect. Yes, making the online application count and finding the hiring team. Oh, love to hear that from Dahlia. Thanks for sharing. Transferable skills resonated with me, especially with me looking transition from retail management to HR. Seriously, there is so many skills you learn in retail management that are so transferable. There's a good chance that you have experience with hiring and training team members when you're in a management role right now. And all of those skills, this is exactly my transition that I made. I went from management into HR and then from HR to career coaching. But the management into HR was almost a seamless transition for me because those were the things I was already doing as a manager, but now I got to focus on those parts. And Andrew says, we get to meet great people like you and we network. Oh, you're just the nicest. Thank you very much. And so if today's mini lesson resonated with you, if today's mini lesson resonated with you, and if you are currently thinking about a career change, then I have a great resource for you. On my website, let me drop this in here. I have a quiz. It's really short. It's called Should I Change Careers? And the cool thing about it is that when you finish the quiz, you actually get a clear answer and you get actionable steps that you can take wherever you are in your career, whatever your situation currently is. For your specific situation, the quiz will give you actionable steps. And also, if you want to find your transferable skills along with the quiz results, you get my really popular transferable skills workbook that will help you identify those skills that really energize you and motivate you, and give you a long checklist that identifying those skills is going to make it really, really easy. So if you are ready to dive in deeper and take the quiz, type a ready in the chat so I know that you're still with me, that you're still here, and that you are ready to take the next step in making a career change. So give me a ready, and then I'm still here for 4 more minutes. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. Now is your time to ask all of them. All right. Okay, well, it was wonderful to be here with all of you today. Really, really enjoyed having all of you and having so much engagement. Andrew, you're the best. Ready? Yes, you're going to love my quiz, so please go and take it. I'll drop in the caption one more time. And for those of you following along on Instagram, you want to go to careerbloomcoaching.com/quiz. You can also find that in my link tree. You just go to the link tree, go to quiz, and you're going to be there. All right, I don't see any more questions. Thank you for being here today. Really, really appreciate you tuning in. Stay in touch with me. Please follow me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, whichever is your and Threads as well. And please follow me, connect with me. I love making professional friends, so please send me a connection request, introduce yourself. Always love meeting all of you. And if you have any questions at all now or after this live, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Wishing all of you a wonderful day or evening, depending what side of the world you're on. And I can't wait to see you again for my next live. Bye, everyone.